house.
Ching, ching, ching.
Is my hair all right for this one then? Yeah, it looks.
Your sleeve down. You always have a cough. Get your dress.
I can't help it. It's just the way this t-shirt is now, I think. It just looks a bit...
Well, it's years old, isn't it?
Years old.
I think that one sat in the camper for about 3 years while COVID was on and we couldn't get in here. That's what it felt like anyway.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the PiPsCast.
Hi there.
Really nice, lovely bright morning here in the middle of September. We have had some much needed rain, you may have seen, and that's continued sort of on and off. It's been really useful for our garden because me being a gardener, I love like getting my hands in the soil, and for me I'm still full of awe and excited because middle of September in the UK you would tend to be clearing out your garden and starting to close it down a bit for the winter, especially way up in the northeast where we used to live. But here it's like all systems go.
It is. And all the plants are in the shops now.
Yeah.
So we're kind of working with the seasons. We kind of know that it's now planting season because the shops are full of plants.
Yeah, definitely.
Plug plants, which is really nice. And I think on the last video we showed you planting some.
Yes, we got a few lettuce and that kind of stuff. Well, now that's expanded and we've got even more now.
Yeah.
And it's been lovely this week because the soil is like all fully hydrated again, and you're getting your hands in there and it's lovely and moist and it's warm, and you can just see how the plants would love that sort of environment, and it's absolutely lovely coming home with your muck under your fingernails.
Feels as though you've done some kind of gardening work, which is what you love, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
So
it's nice now getting out in the garden.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So keep your fingers crossed. We've put in things like lettuce, beetroot, lots of different kinds of cabbage, some beans, like for broad beans, fava beans, seeds straight in. Haven't got any sign of them. Radishes, carrots, herbs, that kind of thing. Cauliflower,
broccoli.
Yes, definitely. Although the broccoli's looking a bit dodgy.
Broccoli, is that calabrese?
Yes.
Yeah, calabrese.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the broccoli's looking dodgy. Why?
Well, it's not the ones that you dropped on their heads. Darren did manage to drop 3 bags of plug plants on their head.
Oh dear. Well, I'll explain that.
It doesn't sound as bad as it is.
No, it's not as bad as it is. But I'll explain that, shall I?
Yeah.
Dropping them on their heads. So I had five packets, big bags of compost, all piled up on the trolley.
Yeah.
I was trying to push the trolley along a little area just so that we can get it into the car, get the compost into the back of the car quite easily. But the trolley was heavier than I could hold, and the trolley went off the...
And they always go in their own direction. They never go in the direction that you're trying to drag or push them into. So
the trolley fell off the curb onto the road. I managed to save all of the compost, but the plants which were on the top fell over. And I think I broke a few.
I don't know about broke, a few leaves fell off.
A few leaves.
They'll be fine, they'll love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so never mind. But they're all in the ground now, so they're doing really well. Well, they're doing really well considering they've been in a couple of days anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. But what the rain also sort of brought to light was that we need to redirect some of our rainflow. Because the horta is on a hillside, it obviously will have a flow from the top to the bottom. When we had the land cleared and the pond dug, we also had some swales and ribs dug. So we are capturing and slowing down the flow of water and directing it all off to one side so that it can flow into the pond. All of that was done in the design, but obviously there's still open spaces, and the majority of it sort of comes down the rough road, doesn't it? The road
that
side.
we drive down. Yeah, we have a drive. We call it a driveway coming down the side of the land. That's right. And and the majority of the water flows quite speedily down that hill. And unfortunately, we haven't managed to direct it yet. So what's happening is it's going to the kind of the house area.
Yeah, because that's sort of the flat area.
So it's finding its way in.
Yeah. Not into the house, but to that house area, and then it sort of flows and it's washing my strawberries away. So we have got some digging in our future. What we're going to attempt to do is dig like a trench, and probably fill it with, we've got loads of small rocks and stuff on the land, and then hopefully the trench will collect the water and shoot it off in a different direction away from that flat area, because we don't want it getting all soggy and muddy, because that's where we predominantly walk.
That's where we're going to spend the majority of our time, isn't it? Yeah, so we need to get some trenches in.
Yeah, there's going to be some digging in our future.
Yeah, but we noticed that just the other day, as you say, when the rain flowed very quickly.
Yes, because we tend to get very
quick
heavy deluges as well, especially these summer storms.
But within 10 minutes it stopped, well, less than 10 minutes it had stopped, and then it had pretty much dried up. But I suppose it's just that, as you say, directing it. And we've been directing it really well into the IBCs as well, though, haven't we?
Absolutely,
We've managed to collect a lot.
Almost, the one IBC was full completely.
Yeah, it was, which is really, really good.
So we've emptied that out into the others, and it's now available for more rain.
Because we have an overflow, a manual overflow system on our IBCs. Yeah. So
We've talked about it before.
We have, we fill one, and when that's full, we manually send the water down to two others a little bit lower on, through gravity down to a little bit lower down. Well. It does work really well, actually. Yeah, it works really well. So at this point, we just wanted to say a huge thank you to a couple of our supporters, Suzanne and Karen. Thank you ever so much. Much appreciated. Truly appreciated.
Very generous.
Very generous. What it helped us do was get a good start, or maybe because we'd already had a little start, but it'd give us a bigger start on our decking on our garden house.
Yes.
So we've managed to get a little bit more of that done now. It's quite a big decking area, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But so thank you ever so much.
Very, very appreciated. Very kind.
Very
generous.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank
you very much indeed. Thank you. So should we talk about the other little boost?
Yeah, the other boost that we have had is we have sold the little silver Corsa, the car. So
is it silver?
Well, I think it was originally.
Oh, originally silver.
Yes, it's probably base metal silver now. Anyway,
that
was our very first Portuguese car. If you remember, way back practically a year ago. It's not quite a year to the day yet, but when we first came here, we knew that we weren't going to be able to matriculate the UK car that we arrived with. So what Darren did was, you put out a message on Facebook, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, asking to see if anyone who was returning to the UK and had a Portuguese car would want to do a swap. And that's exactly what happened, wasn't it?
It was, that's exactly what happened, yeah. So we had a Ford Transit Connect, a little camper, little micro camper van, which we used to get us over here. And it was an English car. Once you're resident, you can't have an English car. You're not allowed to use an English car in Portugal. So we were under a little bit of pressure, I suppose, to get rid of our English car for a Portuguese. So a swap came along, which sounded okay, sounded like a good deal. And it was, honestly. In the end, it worked out okay.
In the end, it was a bit of a culture and a bit of a
system
shock and a system shock.
Yeah.
They were in the Algarve, we're, as you know, up near Castelo Branco, so a good fair distance apart. We agreed to meet in the middle, and most of the big towns have offices where you can go into, and they'll either be sort of an official office, or there'll be a person like a notary who will facilitate the change of ownership from one person to another. So we met in a particular town where there was one of these officers, we shook hands, went in, did the change of ownership. They jumped into our beautiful little micro camper. Off they went and left us with
little Corsa.
The little Corsa that was absolutely shockingly, disgustingly dirty, but never mind.
It was a bit of a shock to the system.
It was, yeah.
And we had to drive that 5 hours back to here as well. So that was a big day.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, the person
who sold decent car.
Yeah, the person who sold us the car said it's dirty, it's been used off grid, but honestly, it starts first time every time, and we absolutely agree.
We do, yes.
And that little car has been really, really good for us actually.
It's the one we drove all the way to the UK and back in.
Yeah, crazy.
So, you know, I think that's about 1,600 kilometres, or maybe it's not because we didn't go through France, but
yeah, true,
never
true.
mind.
Yeah.
But
I forgot about that bit. But yes,
it was a decent car.
It was in the end, honestly. It was. It was just a bit dirty, a lot dirty when we got it. So anyway, we've managed to pass it on, and hopefully it'll continue to be as good as it always has been.
Yes.
Because it's been a good little car for us, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah. So that's helped us a little bit with our budget, or thinking about what we're going to do. As you said, all the little jobs that you want to do. Because there are lots of little jobs that are kind of half finished, I suppose, because of the weather or whatever, the heat, and we can't do that. We can't go outside in the middle of the day, whatever it might be. So lots of little half jobs. But that's got you to thinking a little bit about...
Yeah, so two things in that. Some of the projects where we need money, and you know that our budget is really tight, so we're sort of working on our small surplus every month gets put towards whatever the job.
A few decking boards.
Whatever the job is at the time. But what I've also been doing is getting organised. So now it's cooled down and my brain's working again. I've got myself a couple of pages here, and I just keep thinking, oh, we didn't finish that, or we bought the stuff for that. Or we've got some stuff left over, we've got half a tin of paint, we could finish a job. Those types of jobs, and I've been trying to capture them so that I can then think, okay, I've got a couple of hours, or I've got a morning, or whatever, what can I get done, instead of just sitting and going, like that.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah.
We don't doom scroll.
No.
I doom scroll a little bit.
But so we've even got, I feel like I'm getting
you're getting
energised again. After the slump of the summer, and it felt like quite, I needed a good old boost of energy and a good old kick up the backside to get back into working and moving your body and
moving your body. We've done a little bit of decking as we get. I think that's the fourth time I've mentioned the decking. We've done a
Did you know what we're going to do? We've been doing some decking.
And we'll mention it on the next video too, I think. Anyway, we're so we've been doing a little bit of decking, but honestly, it's taken us a little bit of time to get
brain power to get it.
Brain power.
Just and then energy. The bending and up and down because you're not getting any younger.
And honestly, doing a bit of decking is not that difficult, but we're kind of it's becoming a little bit difficult, but we're getting there. We've done the main majority now of it, and we've done the big bulk, hasn't it? We've done all of the structure of it, so now we're just putting the decking panels on, really, pretty much, isn't it?
But it's just all the getting up and down, and then gardening is up and down and bending and digging. Well, not digging, but
Yeah. Because we're getting organised with the gardening now. Because what I said yesterday was because we've realised we can move the hose
instead of walking back to where the hose lies on the ground all the time.
Yeah, keep walking backwards and forwards, but you can move. A hose actually moves. Yeah. So I stand at the IBC.
Turn it on and off.
Elaine goes on. I turn the IBC tap on. It goes down the hose and fills up Elaine's watering can. And then she says stop, and I stop like that.
And you're probably thinking, well, why don't you just let the hose run? But this is like a big, thick, heavy hose, and the plants are small and delicate, and the way that the water rushes out, it would probably decapitate the lot of them.
It would.
So,
So you have to use being gentle with your
rows on the watering can.
Yeah,
To sprinkle them, not
Deluge.
Niagara fall them to death.
Yeah.
But,
So it's quite a process to even water the plants, isn't it?
takes two.
Yeah, it takes two of us. Yeah, but it's good.
No.
So yeah, so that was that. So we got the little Corsa sold.
Yep. So that's going to give us a decent boost. So we,
Yeah.
in our minds, we've probably both spent that money already.
Yeah.
At least twice. But I think what it will do, outside our village house, there's no guttering and there's no
that's it.
porch roof. We did put a temporary one up last winter with just using like a tarp, and that worked brilliantly for the whole winter.
Yeah.
But then when the winds, mainly the big winds came, because it was a tarp and it was flexible, it sort of ripped and we had to take it down. So now we're looking for a permanent solution, and we think we may have found one.
Yeah, it's really good.
And you'll see that one coming up in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, because we want it up and in place, because having a dry entrance into your home makes such a big difference to your quality of life. So,
yeah. So
especially in a tiny, tiny house.
Well, in a tiny, tiny house, that's the thing. I think as soon as the rains came, a week or so ago, when the rains were here, the first thing we noticed was the amount of wet that got brought into the house, wasn't it, really? Yeah, and the house is small, so I suppose you notice it even more, because we don't have any... We
haven't really got anywhere to hang a wet coat or put your wet shoes, so if we have a dry porch where we can keep all the wet stuff outside, keeps down the humidity inside, and
that's about it, isn't it?
It's a win-win-win.
Hopefully, yeah. I think it will be. So we're looking at that. We went yesterday to have a look at the stuff.
See what's available, and we think we've got a plan almost formulated. I have to go and do some measuring now, so we're going to say thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, it's good. I like that. Nice work.
And take care.
Yeah.
We'll see you on Saturday for our main video.
Yeah.
Have a good rest of your week.
Yeah, take care everyone. Speak to you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. So what was the beep 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 on your phone?
Oh, we just got a brand new patron. Welcome to RG. Thank you very much for supporting us. That's
Thanks,
brilliant.
RG.
I hope you're going to enjoy going back in and looking at all of the extra content that's available on Patreon. That's really kind of you.
Yeah, thanks very much for joining us. That's really cool.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Right, get that edited, mister.
Okay.